Hello, this is John Schwander, also known as the All Grain Gamer, and I'm here with,
Do you will?
And Phil?
and we're picking up on Project KZAV for July 8th, or July 7th. So we actually got a lot done so far. We got an actual working level editor at the moment, and we have the GTD, game design documents, in progress. Got the format down. Both of those you'll hopefully be able to see. Now, before I get too much into that, Phil, you played Cave Story.
Yep.
And you were telling me you had some frustration.
Well, I guess the main thing is I'm used to having a lot more controls available as far as moving and looking, being independent. And so not having to, if I'm shooting at an enemy also, or only be able to run at them, not be able to run away from them.
And have you played many platformers besides Cave Story? Were like that?
I've played Mario and stuff. Not many. It's just with the whole having guns was the more problem.
Okay.
The one part there was two enemies overhead and a jump. That was the only way you could shoot at them. And jumping while also aiming in the right direction was not normal for me.
Okay. And how long did you play?
Where'd I get to? I don't really know how long I played. A couple hours, I guess.
Do you know what level? What? Even if what it looked like grassland, desert, a factory.
I got past... I know I turned on power. I think that was the last thing.
Okay.
And defeated that boss there.
The frog?
No, he's right by the frog. He fights Balrog before that, and then the frog.
Oh, so he's at the same place that I was stuck at.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was
See a pattern.
my frustration point. It was what really started was that boss fight with the bubbles. I wanted to be able to jump through them while also shooting them, which you really couldn't
Bubbles.
do. I don't know if they're really bubbles. They were circles
That he shoots at
Yeah.
you? And you wanted to be able to jump through them and shoot them?
shoot him at the same time, and you
Okay.
couldn't. So you couldn't shoot at an angle.
Okay. Did you have the fire weapon at that point?
Yeah.
And that wasn't doing it for you, even though it arced a little?
I mean, it was good to clean up the bubbles, but I couldn't shoot at him. He was always too far away.
Ah, I see. Well, I like getting your perspective because I know you're not the biggest
I mean, I
gamer,
guess
so it's very interesting.
the main thing I thought was I have this mouse over here and this huge keyboard of buttons, and I'm only using 6. Why don't I have these available to be aiming better? And I realized when you make these games for like portable systems, you only do have that many buttons. But now we have controllers with 2 joysticks built in. We should probably take advantage of them if they would help.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, it does kind of... It's a old school style game, so
Right.
part of the authenticity was... And the uniqueness was the controls. But yeah,
Are we going old school?
that was my plan since platformer was thrown out. And I want to do the one-handed controls. Really strongly want to try to pull that off.
I guess my thing was, or my thought after playing Cave Story was one-handed will not work with today's market.
For any title or just
for any title. Being limited to 4 fingers on buttons
It's frustrating.
wouldn't. Yeah. I guess that was the thing. You're limited now. You're taking controls away from people. It's, you're not making. The game still needs full attention. It's not like you can do something else with your other hand.
Have you ever played any game in the Bit Trip Runner series?
No.
Okay. That unfortunately costs money, so I can't really recommend that to you guys, but they pull off the one-hand control really well, and that's kind of why but one way they get around that is the screen moves, and you move automatically. So you're doing commands, you don't have to worry about the movement.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not something that really works with a platformer much.
Uh-huh.
Even though that is kind of a platformer.
Right, that's a reaction game, right?
Yeah, you could call it
Yeah.
that.
Yes, then that's okay. But we already need 4 buttons for motion.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at 1 for interaction, 1 for weapons, a couple for weapon swaps.
And how I currently envisioned the one-handed combat working would be like Cave Story, where you only attack directly in front of you, a set length based on your weapon or your power-up, and it would have to be facing the enemy and jump when needed and all that stuff.
Right.
So that's why I had you check it out, definitely. So it is a concern.
I mean, I guess you can pull that off if it's not a fast-paced game.
Yeah, it depends
Where
how
you-
heavy we go into combat.
You can, because you have to dump moving controls for action,
Mm-hmm.
which means that you can't be having to do both at the same time. Yeah. And then my other thing was, if you upgrading to 2-hand controls is probably going to be a completely different game. Because as soon as you have 2 hands, you can do the fast-paced combat, which would make the game extremely easy to play. Or to beat.
Attack in front of you, or you aim. You want to aim with the mouse, or
I think, I guess it just depends on it. If we have guns, I would definitely say the mouse. Something that's a long range weapon. But I don't know. Cave Story, I definitely wish I had the mouse. Now, if it was just you run up and had to punch people, then it would have been fine with
Yeah.
those controls.
I wasn't playing on any guns for the protagonists, but some of the side characters, Dexter suggested maybe, but definitely something to keep in mind.
Well, because like I can see, because you reading the GDD, you had the snake whip as being like level 3, and I can see myself jumping away from enemies and wanting to hit them with the whip, because it's has that much range, which wouldn't be possible without independent looking and moving. I don't know, I guess I was a big fan of the 2-handed controls originally, but now thinking about it, I don't see how we can keep the game playing the same way between both controls.
In the old days, what they did was it didn't move totally independently, but you could like angle it. There was angle up forward for slightly up, or just straight up, or straight down and down forward for a little angle that way. But
well, yeah, that's fine, but you're still having to move unless you have two hands.
well, I'm on two hands now. And I still like the one hand, but I gotta.
Because now that if we're going for Xbox, we have the Xbox controller support already. Mm-hmm. So I think it's easy to just have one of the sticks be moving and one of them be aiming. And that's a complete common thing to do already.
It is.
People are used to that. I guess that's my point.
PC, even though we will have a Xbox port, and the PC does support controllers,
yep.
So that's definitely a control option I'd like to have. But without a controller, I'm still wondering whether to use the mouse or keyboard only.
I don't. We could do both. I don't see.
So I say you can make it so you can change it.
I don't see any reason there can't be both. It's for me. I would be a learning curve to do it looking with the keyboard. Mm-hmm. Is an independent thing, but other people know how to do that. That's acceptable.
Yeah, though the mouse would be clearly superior due to the control.
Yep.
Finesse.
Precision and just comfort, and normally people use the mouse for that. I don't think I've ever played a game where you use the keyboard to look as an independent control.
What about you, Dexter? What's your thoughts on keyboard versus mouse?
I myself am used to a mouse just because all the games I played, at least for PC, have all been just either like really simple jump and then just land on crap, and that's really all you do, or just using a mouse. Like, let's see, any MMO, like World of Warcraft or Star Wars or like EverQuest, any of those needed a mouse. RuneScape needed a mouse. League of Legends needed a mouse. Everything. Magicka needed a mouse.
Right, I guess Magicka is a good example of using the mouse in the game, because we're gonna have a sort of similar view perspective as Magicka in the overworld.
I see overworld more as a grid, but we'll go with the mouse for the controls, with maybe an option on the keyboard for those who prefer that.
Yes.
But we'll design with the mouse in mind and these sticks. Now about the overworld, I was envisioning it like the old Final Fantasy or Zelda, where you could only move the 4 cardinal directions.
Yeah, I did too, but
we could do it like Magicka.
I mean, we can still do. You can only move in those directions.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the mouse to aim wherever you want.
Well, we still got to figure out the how we're gonna do overworld combat before we figure out that. Because as it before the mouse, I was thinking that the player could only attack directly in front of them, so they would have to move next to the enemy and attack.
Mm-hmm.
So the mouse wouldn't be needed there. But if we use something like ranged combat, then we'll need the mouse.
Right.
Now I'm trying to think. If we do, say, the overworld combats with a tower defense kind of like structure, where you place militia and they're just there forever, would we run a risk of overloading the performance and slowing down the computer if the player uses a lot of militia and they don't die?
No.
Okay.
That was easy.
We're not doing 3D graphics, so we get a lot of horsepower from that. I mean, yes, it'll slow down if we have a couple, probably million, but I don't think you'd ever get to that point.
Someone will.
That's the...
Because usually when those slowdowns happen, it's because of the graphics card not being able to render
not the processor.
Not the processor or the data behind it.
Now, while we're on the subject of horsepower, what should be the minimum setup for a PC that we should develop for?
Well, right now, XNA requires a graphics card with shader model 3, which any computer in the last year would include, I assume. I'm not sure about that, so we've already set a limit because of the libraries we're using.
And what was it that XNA requires?
Shader model version 1.
Okay.
It's their standard for the graphics card.
And I'm sure it needs something else like DirectX 10.
That's
already
included with shader model, basically.
Okay.
But I believe any computer running Windows 7 has it. I think Windows 7 requires it already. I'm not sure about that, but...
Alright, we'll look into that. See how far back that's like required, and they'll have it. Because from what I'm hearing, their motherboard won't be too much of a problem.
Nope.
And it's just the graphics card. Everything else will be fine.
Yeah. If they have the graphics card, the computer will definitely be fine.
Okay.
I mean, I guess now on this topic, we can get away from that. I mean, we don't need to be using XNA.
Though you already have the level editor designed with XNA.
No, it's designed. Well, it's easy to port. I'm not using any XNA specific things at this point. As soon as we start getting into textures and stuff, I would say we're too late to switch. But right now, we could still switch to Java or something.
All right, we'll look at the minimum requirements and take a look at that next week.
Okay.
I suppose. You just let me know if XNA just needs that shader model and how old a PC will be that has to have it. That like comes standard, and we'll go from there.
I can look. I'm not sure that exists, but
I'm sure shader model's not hard to download. But
no,
it's not something I want to pack in the game.
It's a hardware thing.
Ah, okay, yeah. It's not like a driver for a graphics card?
It's not a driver. It is something that has to be in the graphics card.
Ah.
It's dang graphics card.
If Dexter can run it on his laptop, then
woo!
Any laptop should have it.
My laptop's a piece of crap.
Exactly my point.
He's not.
Do you know what graphics card you have, Dexter?
I don't remember. Let's check.
And while he's checking, the level editor we've played around with a bit. and you've already started a list for version 2.
Yeah. I don't think we really.
And what are some things on that list?
We have been able to respawn following the player. It's gonna add an undo feature. Some importing levels. And resizing objects.
Wait, do you have it so like you have the traditional like Control Z is undo, Control X is cut, Control C is copy, Control V is paste?
I don't know how to do that, but I was just gonna make.
Would that just be a bind?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, how when you put like B as box, you just write that in?
Yes. I'm capturing it with the input with XNA, so I'm determining when it's a click and when it's not.
Okay.
So it's not as easy as saying Control C is copy. And I would rather just make it be a one button instead of multiple.
Gotcha. Oh, I know you have that trace thing. Do you have like a highlight thing? So when you like click on a box, it'll like then you could copy from that box.
Or just tell what box you have selected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just use the one that's selected.
But is there any way that you can make it so there's like a highlight around it so you actually know which one it is?
Probably.
Because I feel like I would be confused if I like accidentally pressed on like an edge. I don't know which one I actually picked on.
Sure. I can do that.
Find your graphics card, Dexter?
Yes. It's Radeon HD 6770M. And actually my computer isn't like the worst piece of crap ever. There's others that are worse. Like, my computer had no problem running Diablo 3. There's other people that had to get new graphics cards just to run that game.
Right.
I'm gonna see.
If you can run 3D graphics, you could run XNA, basically.
If you can run Diablo 3, you can run this game.
Oh, we can cut down further than that, I'm sure.
Probably. What's worse than that? Because I could test it out. See, isn't it a good thing that I have a PC and the U2 are Macs?
No.
Why?
Doesn't matter.
So this graphic card came out last year?
Probably. Probably brand new. That got put in his computer.
But last year.
I'm just looking at the specs. Well, it is certainly on the low end. It's beat by the GTX 560, the GeForce GTX.
Say what?
And everything ahead of it. The GeForce GTX 560 is a NVIDIA card.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the next tier above the one you have. And then there's like 9 others ahead of that. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it'd be too much of a problem if that's running it. That's the base. We can stick with the XNA.
Yeah, because I like the Xbox Live feature.
Mm-hmm. That's a big plus for it too. Now about the GDD. You messaged me when I sent it to you that you were confused about Ray and what that is. I changed that to missile Does that
Yeah,
clear
yeah.
up for you a little?
I mean, I know what array was already. Just wasn't expecting it to be written as a object.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Where would you put it instead of objects?
No, I wouldn't use the word ray as an object, but I know you just mean anything that flies through the air
Okay.
in a straight line.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Because I'm still learning here too, so.
Yeah, for me,
If something causes confusion, I'd like to know.
for me in programming, I use array to see if there's something in front of me, a box or something.
So like
But I mean,
a vision ray or like a sonar, like a bat.
there's so many uses for array, so it's yeah. I don't really know what you should call it.
But definitely not ray.
No, ray's fine. I would just put more clarification as to what it is, not just it kills someone instantly. As in just an object that travels through the air in a straight line.
All
I
right.
still call it array.
Now, does like the spikes in acid? Does that make sense?
Yes, the spikes are easy. Acid is. Do you want it to be like a pool that you fall into, or just something on the surface,
A pit.
like Left 4 Dead style? You know.
I was originally thinking lava, but I just did acid because lava seemed like it would be.
No, I meant
We were on
mechanics
fire.
wise.
But yeah, mechanic wise, I'm not
do you fall
too
into
set
it,
either way.
or is it just you when you're standing on top of it?
Fall into it. So like
with-
Cave Story, when you go into the water,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so if you don't slow down, you just... Well, actually, you could slow down a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I had it not stack damage in case you fell into it and you were in it for a long length. So I was kind of thinking more pool
Okay.
than puddle.
Sounds good.
Now, Dexter,
Yes.
I'm currently at a standstill for enemies.
Standstill
I
for
don't know.
enemies for... Is it just a jungle area?
Well, not the jungle area. That's the thing. I don't know what area will be next. So I don't know
What
what kind of enemy should I be writing for.
What area should be next? Wait, didn't we have a list last time of what could be?
We do.
So, medieval, Renaissance, Vikings, and colonial. Oh gosh. I guess medieval, obvious one would be rats. That's one of them. Black
Yeah.
Plague and stuff.
Black Plague is your
Hmm.
effect.
There you go. The poison,
Yeah.
which is written out there.
Boom. And what else was... I guess you can use a crow or something like that as just like a symbol of death that's going on around this time.
That works as a butterfly or a
Flying.
dragonfly equivalent. So the second temple will be medieval, and the third will be Renaissance.
Renaissance.
And we have rats, crows.
I feel like we should have like one new type of enemy.
We need a. You could have a new type. We need a big, beefy kind of character that, like the Hime of the jungle.
I thought we'd still have like some type of heme type thing there. Like
We could
each
have
temple
themes there.
was gonna have like a different heme type.
Okay, so you're thinking different Hime for your different sections.
Yes.
With different buffs, or they just act as different?
Uh,
Do they have different stats or AI?
they have both. Sort of. Like, I was thinking like the first team was just gonna be like a regular dude, regular heme, nothing special about him. second dude is gonna have like armor or something, so he takes a lot less damage. Because he's probably gonna have shielding and stuff like that if he's in the medieval times.
Now, about having armor. When a heme bust out of it since they get larger due to oxygen? Won't they be like constricted by the armor?
No, they just. That was one of the things that I actually got added. That the more oxygen they have, the more armor they get. So instead of actually getting armor, maybe we could just have like equipment that gives them more oxygen.
They just carry around an oxygen tank like an old person.
We don't want them to be old.
Instead of flamethrower canister on the back, he has oxygen.
Yeah.
It's going straight to his nose.
Yeah, maybe not his nose.
It's just funny to me.
Yeah. For some reason, I keep on thinking of like Bane. I think of like
yeah. But also about Bane, like he gets bigger as he gets more drugged up.
Yeah.
And that's a good visual cue to the player that's getting stronger. So having a heme in armor kind of seems odd.
Yeah, we don't. It doesn't have to be like armor.
Like maybe just give him a shield.
Yeah. Shield and a sword. Or no, not a sword. Swords are lame. What's that club-looking thing that has like that has spikes on it?
Mace.
Mace.
That thing.
All right. So, let's see. We stick with that pattern. Still would like one more
enemy type.
Kind of beefy enemy type. Yeah. Well, not really beefy, but something that takes more hits. Like a rat and a crow, I see taking one hit.
Yeah.
Maybe something that takes 2 to 3 hits.
What about like a plagued person?
Do that
or plagued animal.
Now, is this plague, is it just situational? Like, that's just what it was in the old times? Or is this based on the temple?
I think it's based on what the MPU did to them.
Okay.
Like, this is going... The MPU did this to distract them while getting the stuff from the temple. While trying to get the stuff from the temple. And then Kevin and Zazo have to stop them.
Now, describe how you envision a plagued person. Like, how they move and attack and what they look like.
Let's see. I think of them being, like, crazed. Like, literally, they're probably, like, insane. They get a lot faster. They look a little, like, greenish black-ish, I guess. I don't know what color that would be. Basically, they almost look like a zombie, but it's just like, instead of becoming slow and wanting to bite people, you become really fast and you can attack the crap out of people.
See, when you said plagued, I was thinking zombie,
yeah.
But what you're describing sounds more like a drug addict.
Yes, drug addicts, that's good.
So that could be like Section 4 city, drug addicts.
Oh, that's one way.
I just hate zombies, so I don't want them.
Yeah.
I'm tired of zombies, should I say.
Tired of skeletons too?
Skeletons I don't mind. Zombies. Skeletons can still be in games mostly.
Alright,
Zombies.
Still need a mini boss and a boss.
The mini boss, I thought it was going to be the Heme. We just have that.
Well, the Heme was the mini boss for the first temple as an introduction.
Yeah.
I think after that, they should start being not just entirely common, but they should be a regular enemy.
Oh, alright. Mini boss. Mini boss could be one of the plague, drug addict people, except like it was a knight that got plagued, like a higher up. A knight, I don't know, on like a horse.
Yeah, if you say death for the boss, you can't complain about zombies.
Huh?
If you say death for the boss, you can't complain about zombies.
Nah, I'm not making death. I'm not making death a boss.
The Grim Reaper.
No, no Grim Reaper. Wait, you said you need... Alright, so, mini boss is the Plague Knight. The boss would be... How about a Plagued Prince?
Seems redundant.
Seems redundant. Maybe we just have... Since the first temple had... like a mechanical...
Mecha Bullfrog.
Yeah. This time we have... a mechanical dragon.
I like dragon. Are we gonna have a theme of every temple has a mecha beast?
It doesn't have to look mechanical this time. Like in the jungle one, that one was like I was envisioning it obviously like mechanical. This one could actually look like a real freaking dragon.
Except as like it takes damage, the mechanical parts start showing.
Yeah.
And it blows up instead of bleed.
Yeah. So we don't have to have that issue of it being too violent.
Alright, I want you to think on the drug addict / plague zombie guy and the plague knight mini boss. See what you come up with for next week. Yeah, anything else to cover? Anything you guys want to bring up?
Nope, I've got everything for right now.
Alright. If that's it, I'll just bring us to a close. This was Project KZAV, signing off.